Well, good morning. Tony Virtue speaking, Virtue and Partners, with our regular monthly update in the Pitt Street office today. Uh, Obviously, the news really driven by the federal budget earlier in the week, and if we're to take the stock market as a guide, it's been pretty well received. I guess what you'd expect, and it's been a very similar story around the world, of what's called Keynesian economics. And what I mean by that is that when the private sector can't really expand, government steps in, cheap money, reduce taxes, get everybody spending that money. Hopefully that feeds down into employing more people, and so the multiplier effect works, and the economy then bounces back. And indeed, we're beginning to see those numbers in China at the moment, with an expectation of an 8% GDP for next year. The details of the budget, which have been well sort of flagged, are in the attached graphs. The key things to be aware of is that, yes, we're racking up a lot of debt, but interest rates are low. And so the actual amount of interest in dollars that are being paid actually hasn't gone up, if that makes any sense. There, again, the graphs show you that. But debt is debt. Being funded by the RBA, have been raising capital in the markets, 30-year bonds now at 1%. So we've got the capacity to make these payments. It's now just a case of being very, very efficient how we use that money. And again, the reality being it's better to put money back into business to employ people than dead money into unemployment benefits, which literally doesn't really achieve much. Government goal being to get unemployment down to 6% before much else happens. So expect cheap money for the foreseeable future. We need to adapt. A lot of these jobs aren't going to come back. We need to find new jobs for people. And as that happens, this could actually be quite a good time for both equity markets and property markets there. And we're seeing credit flowing through the banks. The Treasurer last week surprisingly came out and really loosened the responsible lending rules. ASIC is out, APRA is in. That should mean we can get you loans a lot quicker and bigger balances without asking such intrusive questions there. News overseas, obviously driven by Trump and his fight with the virus. So this time last week we weren't quite sure how he was going to go. Well, he's out of hospital now, and life goes on, I suppose. Obviously, we have an election there in about a month's time. At this stage, pundits are predicting a Biden victory. 4 years ago, they thought that Clinton would win. So one of the known unknowns over there is you never quite know what will happen. But generally, with 3 levels of government, not much happens without there being a bit of argy-bargy. Markets are pretty taking this in their stride. Definitely a realization that whoever wins, they've got a big job to get that economy working well. They do need to work with China, not against China. And we're all in this together to get the global economies back and running. Our property markets here, obviously Melbourne's effectively closed at the moment, but Sydney has held up. 2 markets, self-evidently, the owner-occupier market looking quite strong. Government has also released another 10,000 places for 95% loans for people buying their first home. So that's a positive. For the investment side, whatever you're relying on tenants from overseas, net migrants, that's going to be subdued for a while, but it's something that government's well aware of. State government has a budget in about a month's time. So again, expect some stimulus package there to support that. Finally, I'm pleased to advise we're having a Christmas party as usual at the Manly Skiff Club. Been advised by the club that we're able to have a normal function, quote unquote, unless there's any deterioration in the virus over the next few weeks. So those invites will come out soon. So look, trying to get back to normal here. We're all working around the clock to help you. We're definitely open for business. We're open for your referrals. Tony Virtue, when experience pays.